So for my seasoning, I like to use garlic powder, or granulated garlic is actually what I prefer, but it's kind of like garlic powder, except a little thicker, I guess, when it reconstitutes with liquid. Onion, minced or powdered or whatever. I think this is like minced. Smoked paprika, black pepper, cumin, oregano, red pepper, like the cayenne pepper. And then I don't actually have what would be like a red chili powder, but I do like a combination, because chili powder is actually like a combination of like onion and garlic and things, so it's a little more mild. But I like to use the Arbol chilies, the New Mexico chili, and then I'm going to use some Pasilla. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, and then I'm going to add cornstarch, so that when you add it to things like meats and then add like some water to it or some broth, it's gonna be almost like kind of like a gravy. I guess it'll just coat the meat better and it'll taste a lot better. I prefer it that way.
Now, to make your own seasoning blend, you just want to combine all of the dry spices and herbs into, I just use an old jar here, but any kind of a container you want. Shake it all together, and you have your own seasoning mix. Making your own seasoning blend is a great way to save money, because you usually use an envelope of seasoning for every meal, and those envelopes usually cost around $1, or at least here in my area they cost around $1. So I was able to make this huge jar of multi-purpose taco seasoning, which I'll be able to use in things like chili, enchiladas, almost any kind of a cooked spicy meat. I'll be able to use this in, and it really cost me like probably less than a couple dollars total, but I'll still have extra spices left over to make other things. So it's very, very inexpensive. Making your own seasoning blends is also a really good alternative to people who have food sensitivities or allergies. A lot of the packets have either, like if you have a wheat allergy or gluten allergy, they have a lot of fillers like that. My daughter has a milk allergy, and they usually use a lot of whey or protein, like milk protein powders, as preservatives in a lot of shelf-stable foods. So it's very, very hard to actually find a brand of any kind of spice seasonings that is actually dairy-free for her. So by mixing my own seasoning blend, I'm able to control which ingredients that I use, and I'm also able to pick and choose which flavors I want to use based off of my personal preferences. If you decide to choose your own peppers, keep in mind that the darker the pepper that you choose, the sweeter and more mild it's going to be. That's why I really enjoy the Pasilla peppers, is because it's very dark and mild and smoky, and it just gives it a really delicious flavor. A lot of these darker, milder peppers will give you kind of that hidden heat that kind of sneaks up on you at the end of a dish, more so than right in your face, high hot heat. And the chilies that you use don't have to necessarily be ground up. You could make this same recipe by taking whole dried chilies and boiling them in some water with the rest of these herbs and spices, and then pureeing it to make kind of a sauce that then you could pour into your meats or over your anything you'd like to be marinated or anything. If you're having trouble finding affordable peppers or garlic or things like that, try the 99-cent only store. Here you can find oregano, cumin. They have tons of dried chili peppers that are whole. They have granulated garlic. They have all kinds of things that you can find here. You can even try looking at the Dollar Tree. Also, if you can, buying peppers in bulk is another great way to save money. Adding sugar is totally optional, but it really does help balance out the flavor. It allows it to be more versatile for things like fajitas or just also like a shrimp. It's really just delicious on everything. The cornstarch is also optional, but honestly, it's my favorite part. The cornstarch is going to make it easier for the seasoning to coat all of your meats or your veggies, and then while it's cooking and after you drain like the fat away, it's going to help by taking any leftover liquids or fats that are in with the meat or the veggies, and it's going to help make it into like a very nice gravy that covers everything. If you wanted, you could also substitute it for flour, but cornstarch is going to work the best. And if you're looking for a gluten-free option, you want to use cornstarch as well. I usually cook up some ground beef that's seasoned with the taco seasoning probably about once a week, and we'll use it for salads or quesadillas, tacos, or enchiladas or something throughout the week for lunch or sometimes dinner. It's super easy and it's one of my kids' favorites, and it's very versatile. And usually I find if we are getting tired of the same flavor of the taco seasoning over and over and over again, but just in different ways, sometimes then I'll just go ahead and season the meat from scratch, and it gives it a whole new flavor. So it kind of resets, your taste for the taco seasoning. I usually use water when I mix in with the taco seasoning, but you can use broth if you wanted to, or if you wanted to use like a tomato sauce or something, you can do all of those things. You just need to make sure that you're mixing in the taco seasoning very well, and that you're making sure that after you add in the water, you're going to want to kind of press the meat down below like the level of where the water's kind of evaporating away, to kind of make sure it cooks evenly and it coats evenly and it gets the best flavor. And it really is that easy, and I enjoy not having to drag out 10 different bottles of spices just to make a quick taco meat really fast, or just a quick flavor boost. So it saves me tons of time and tons of money. And I've also used it to make chicken fajitas, and they were delicious. It really can go on anything, and I can't wait to try it on some shrimp next. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can catch more videos like this.